we think about this as a real revolution where we're building on an honest world. So it doesn't actually take, if you just think about why it feels like that, why it feels like most people aren't like us. Most people are a number go up, and many will be a number go up. And you also, some people will make decisions and sell all the Bitcoin and do really well for their families, and that's okay. They won't want spend the time and go to the next step. This is going to be a massively chaotic transition, because it has to be a massively chaotic transition to move from a system that we've lived in for 3,000 to 5,000 years that's always been exploitative to a cooperative one. Most of our minds can't grapple what that means.
Bitcoin just gave Wall Street the wildest ride of 2025. 1 minute it's plunging to 6-month lows, the next it's soaring past $83,000 like Elon Musk on a Twitter binge. But here's the kicker. This wasn't just market noise, it was a synchronized financial revolution. Jeff Booth just revealed the reality in his latest interview that'll send chills down your banker's spine. For decades, they've printed money like monopoly bills, but Bitcoin just slammed the emergency brake on their entire scheme. Every time Bitcoin dips and bounces back, it's not volatility, it's the sound of the old system gasping for breath. The elites are scurrying like rats on a sinking ship as they finally face the truth. Bitcoin isn't just another digital token, it's a full-blown financial rebellion, dismantling their corrupt empire block by block. Those so-called market corrections? That's the sound of central bankers hyperventilating into their silk handkerchiefs as their monopoly crumbles. Here's the jaw-dropping truth. While you're watching charts, Bitcoin is staging the boldest hostile takeover in economic history. The Fed's money printer is jammed, the banks are panicking, and Jeff Booth just dropped a truth bomb. They can print all the dollars they want, but they can't print more Bitcoin. Let's roll more clips from Jeff Booth's interview. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for deeper insights. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the video.
What do you mean by we are Bitcoin?
That's a pretty deep topic, and for Bitcoiners who've spent a lot of time here, they'll know what I mean. But when you actively participate, run a node, spend in Bitcoin, you are the social layer that actually keeps that decentralized and secure. So when I watch the world centralizing and measuring Bitcoin in fiat and all of these things and all of these risks that they think about about Bitcoin, when the risk is really about them, what are they going to do? Because nobody can force you, because Bitcoin is decentralized and secure in the way that nodes are set up. You can actively participate in the honest system and expand the honest system with what you do, with what you choose to do. So I like to say that understanding Bitcoin, or once you understand Bitcoin, if you choose the other system, it doesn't say anything about Bitcoin. It says something about you. And once you make that choice, and once you commit to that choice, like you're doing, like you know all of the people, I could name them it would take me all this podcast to name all the people that are, whether Michael Seyr calls them cyber hornets, all of the fights or a bunch of the fights about Bitcoin are in order to keep its essence, that we are it. This is the first time in human history that we've had a chance to have something decentralized and secure, and in other words, not live in an exploitive system, live in a competitive one, but cooperative for all of humanity. And it's such a big deal, and I understand when I'm saying this, the vast majority of the world doesn't understand what I'm saying and will push back because there's a fear and their existing cognitive dissonance of what this is, what this state change looks like. But once you do understand it, you can be an active participant. That active participant in the network is the same thing that through the nodes, through the economic nodes, through the looking for attack vectors and being in front of those attack vectors way before they even happen, and building kind of freedom tech. All of those people, what you're doing, teaching other people, starting their journey down, all of those people become the network. And when I say we are Bitcoin, we are that social layer of Bitcoin is the thing that keeps it decentralized and secure. What is different here is because of you know this, many of your viewers do, some of your viewers might not, because of the way the mining is set up for rewards, and then how you can run a node and audit that system and hold them accountable for the open source software that you download, and you can check everything, and you can hold them accountable and audit that time chain every 10 minutes. And then you can spend in it, and you can increase the kind of economic nodes that are driving it in this, all of those things make you an active participant or not. If you buy Bitcoin on an exchange, and I'm not throwing sand or darkness or shade at somebody else that is doing that, because that might be their first step into the journey. But if you're buying it on an exchange and you're measuring it in US dollars, you're measuring Bitcoin from the system that's centralizing. So you're giving your power to the centralization, because, and I've talked about this lots before, but if the natural state of the free market is deflation, then all prices should fall forever. Anything that's stuck, anything that creates extra margin, anything that feels like isn't abundant, will create a swarm of entrepreneurs attacking it with different ideas because of the margin opportunity. So there can't be any monopoly in a free market. Can't look like all of the view of people's world today is a reflection of the system we live in. And what a lot of people are scared of in Bitcoin is it just repeats that system, but it can't, as long as it stays decentralized and secure. When I say we are Bitcoin, once you understand that, once you really understand that, I don't know very many people who've really understood this and then made a choice to go back to the dishonest system. And because that's what it would have to do. That's what I would have to do. I am not going back, no matter what. And I know many people that aren't. And so on one side, people would say, well, what if Bitcoin goes to zero? Okay, then it goes to zero. But the only way it could go to zero is if everyone chose to go back.
Financial elites are panicking in sheer desperation as Bitcoin's unstoppable rise lays bare the collapse of their empire. This isn't just virtual gold, it's a full-scale financial revolution, dismantling decades of monetary manipulation, block by relentless block. Those wild price swings that shake the market? They're not random. They're the death throes of a broken system clinging to life. Behind closed doors, central bankers sweat as their grip on control weakens. Every failed attempt to manipulate the market, every desperate regulation, they only speed up their own demise. Wall Street's old tricks? Powerless now. Bitcoin moves beyond their reach, rewriting the very foundation of money. Their fear is obvious, their resistance, futile. This isn't speculation anymore, it's systemic annihilation. The harder they push back, the more they prove Bitcoin's dominance. The old guard's time is over. Their ivory towers are crumbling in real time. The revolution won't be televised, it'll be blockchain verified. Let's dive into more of Jeff Booth's interview.
Let's put some real potential risks to Bitcoin. And I would say that there's two major risks to Bitcoin that both of what I'm saying here solve. One would be quantum. At some point, you could say quantum is never going to happen, and that might be true, but I would say that that's more of an edge case now, that at some point, whether through what Microsoft's doing with hardware to be able to make, and then software, we will likely get to quantum. Might be 10 years, might be 5 years, might be 20 years, might be never. But I think in something that's this profound, we should take the case that we will get there someday, and we should do the work to be able to make the protocol quantum resistant. How do you make the protocol quantum resistant? A whole bunch of people do the work to make sure the best solution is done, and that solution is fought with all of these people going through this consensus mechanism, and then you roll out change. And who rolls out the change? The people that vote for the change that's in best interest of Bitcoin, the social layer. So and we're doing at Ego Death, we're doing a lot of work on this right now, looking at all of the various different proposals. So you see, okay, there's a risk way out here, right? What should we actively participate in making sure that risk doesn't materialize? You can imagine there's a whole bunch of other people, not just Ego Death, a whole bunch of individuals, same as us, because of the social layer, that are doing the very same thing. What's another risk? Another risk is us. The risk is most people are measuring Bitcoin in the fiat instrument. And if they're measuring Bitcoin in the fiat instrument, they're actually contributing to the centralization. And they don't realize it, and they will get rich because Bitcoin will go up a lot in the fiat instrument, and they will probably trade their Bitcoin for the fiat instrument, and they will likely not run nodes. They will likely not be part of this. And at some point, that fiat system, which is an inflationary system, has to attack the honest one. Bitcoin isn't going up prices are falling against it. That is the free market. And Bitcoin is measuring the first global free market that's ever existed. So all of the others, why you see Trump today, and many people are giving that strength more strength, right? Elon Trump better than Biden and the globalists. And well, that might be true kind of on the surface of it. And because you want to rip out all of the deep state and everything else, that whole infrastructure apparatus came as a result of a control system printing money. How could it change from that system? It just has to consolidate power to somebody else. Because when Elon rips out a whole bunch of the money, the GDP that is all waste today, you'll tip the world into an economic spiral, a deflationary spiral, because all of those people have jobs and all of those people pay for other businesses, all their private businesses that also carry jobs. And as you do that, you'll see the natural state that was there all along, and you'll tip to a deflationary spiral. And the US will have to print so much money. Why? And what you're seeing right now is you're seeing why they want Bitcoin is because they want to print into Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will go up a lot in that. But that system is an inflationary system. And that system, why they also need their security borders, and they need to potentially let go of Europe or Japan, and they have to control other countries. In Canada, us, or Greenland, or Panama, they have to have it has to be a control system. That control system has to centralize more and more. It has to, instead of in the world we've lived in the last 20 years, where you've had a control system, but it's felt like a nice control system because of where you live, right? Now you're just seeing it for what it is. We are going to impose our military might, or you're going to do this, or you're not going to trade with us. That trade, because all humans do, we trade with each other to achieve more value. That's what the global free market looks like. So if you're going to distort that and stop that from happening through your financial instrument, there's going to be consequences. And those consequences are going to continually accrete, and there is no solve from that system. That inflationary system must be a control system. So that inflationary system has to sometime attack Bitcoin. How I would do it is I would do exactly what's happening right now. I'd convince a whole bunch of people that I'm on side. I love this technology. It's the best thing ever. You can trust Uncle Sam with it. You can trust us. We're going to do the right thing. You can trust Coinbase with your coins. You could do all of this. And then as more and more people did this, and more of the economic nodes, the transmission of this was on top of this, I sure wouldn't make the attack anytime soon. But as that happened and more people were transacting on my system.
The recent turbulence in Bitcoin's market, with prices dipping below $75,000 and soaring above $83,000, highlights the broader challenges and opportunities on its path to widespread adoption. As Bitcoin navigates key resistance levels around $84,000 and $96,000, it's become clear these price zones act as both barriers and support, shaping the asset's overall trajectory. The realized price metric, which reflects the average price at which Bitcoin last moved on, further underscores the importance of these levels in influencing future movement. A decisive breakout could ignite a sustained bull run, potentially driving Bitcoin toward the $130,000 mark. Jeff Booth's perspective aligns closely with these dynamics. He sees Bitcoin not just as a new form of investment, but as a movement toward an honest monetary system where power isn't hoarded by a privileged few, but shared across a decentralized network of participants. This vision reflects Bitcoin's core challenge to traditional finance, where systems are often designed to extract value rather than foster it. If Bitcoin can break through these critical resistance zones and continue its upward trend, it won't just validate its worth as an asset title, signal a deeper societal shift toward decentralization and collaboration over coercion. So, as Booth suggests, Bitcoin's current price resistance zones mirror a crucial turning point in Historia moment that could redefine how we view money, power, and trust. As we wrap things up, what do you think is the biggest threat to Bitcoin's success? External pressures or internal adoption hurdles? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights.